Thank the gentleman from Colorado. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Russia attacked our democracy this past election. I urge my colleagues to defeat the previous question and for all of us to get to the business of forming an independent commission to find out how we were attacked, who was responsible, and whether any U.S. persons were involved, and most importantly, promise the American people we will do everything we can to make sure we never find ourselves in a mess like this again. Congressman Cummings and I introduced H.R. 356, the Protecting Our Democracy Act, because we always believed that the only way to have a comprehensive understanding of what happened, who was responsible, and to make recommendations was through an independent commission. However, it also now is an insurance policy against compromised investigations that we believe are coming from this House as well as the administration. There's no question that this last election, Russia meddled in our elections. It's not disputed that that order came from Vladimir Putin. There's no dispute among our intelligence agencies that he had a strong preference for Donald Trump. And the most terrifying finding that our intelligence agencies made was that Russia is sharpening their knives, undertaking a lessons learned campaign because they will go at us and our allies again. Unfortunately, we have seen that those charged with getting to the bottom of what has happened have been compromised. The American people are counting on us to defend this great democracy, a democracy that so many men and women in our armed services have fought for and sacrificed for, who are fighting for and sacrificing for today. Unfortunately, the Attorney General, twice when asked under oath as to whether he had any prior contacts with Russia, said that he had not. And we later learned that indeed, during the Republican convention and afterwards, he had met with Russia's ambassador. He is now recused from any investigation into Russia. That's the executive branch. Unfortunately, our investigation in the House has also been compromised. I have long enjoyed working with Chairman Nunes. I think he's a good man who has led our committee over the last few years to bipartisan results that have made us safer. And for the last few weeks, together, Republicans and Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee have gone down an investigative road together. We had a very productive open hearing last week where we were able to connect the dots of Donald Trump and his family's and his campaigns and his businesses' personal, political, and financial ties to Russia that were converging with the Russian interference campaign. Those dots were validated by the FBI director, confirming that indeed President Trump's campaign was under counterintelligence and criminal investigations. Unfortunately, the chairman in the last week exited this bipartisan investigative road to work with the White House, going to the White House to receive classified information before sharing it with any members on the committee, Democratic and Republican, going again to the White House the next day to share that information with the president. The actions of the Attorney General and the actions of the leaders in this House who are supposed to be undertaking this campaign demand that we take this outside of politics, that we take this outside of Congress. The only way to do that is to have an independent commission that can depoliticize this, that can declassify the facts to the extent possible, and that can debunk the myths that our president has put forward about what happened with Russia. Mr. Speaker, I was a 20-year-old intern in Washington, D.C. when we were attacked on September 11th. I will never forget watching Republicans and Democrats stand on the House steps, arm in arm, singing "God Bless America." But what was more moving than that moment of symbolism was the unity that Republicans and Democrats showed when they came together to make important reforms to ensure that never again would we be attacked from the skies. When they made many reforms that were put in place by an independent commission that was parallel to investigations that were being done in Congress. there is still time for us to unite. There is still time for us to follow the evidence. And there is still time for us to uphold that solemn duty to the American people.
The gentleman is recognized for an additional 1 minute.
Thank you to the gentleman from Colorado. Mr. Speaker, there is still time for Republicans and Democrats in this House to unite. There is still time for us to uphold that solemn duty to ensure that we always put our public safety and our sacred democracy first. And the best way to do that is to bring before this House for consideration the Protect Our Democracy Act. This country is still worth defending, and I yield back. Thank you.